Okay, winners semifinals, top 4 of the Spring Royale. This is exciting. This is the first match I'm truly watching of the day. This is the second LAN of 2025, featuring the best of the best players. The stream is lagging a little bit. They're playing at the Atlanta Zoo, so maybe it's just the Zoo Wi-Fi. That's a little scary. If you don't know what's going on, there are 2 players from each of the major regions here. So we got 2 from NA, 2 from EU, 2 from South America, and they're all competing in a round-robin format. So everyone plays against everyone, and then only the top 4 get to move on to bracket. What are we in right now? The top 4. So first up, we got Godly against Wess. This is EU's Godly versus South America's Wess. And then in the other side of the bracket, we have Marckiemoo versus U's, the defending world champion against the best player of today. So that one is very exciting. Marckiemoo has been on an absolute tear. If you haven't been keeping up with the tournament, with the bracket, he is 5-0. He's the only undefeated player. I mean, I guess there can only be one undefeated player in a round-robin format, but this has been his tournament. So the winner of this will fight probably Marckiemoo in winners finals if both of them win, but let's get back to the gameplay right now. So we got Godly against Wess. This is an interesting matchup. Godly has been playing mostly Fate all day, but we know that he has like 30,000 characters in his belt. So if he loses this game 1, maybe he makes a swap to something that is better against Tezca. Maybe he just feels comfortable. The stream lagging is very unfortunate, but either way, we can see the movement of these 2 players is pretty pristine. I am a big South America fan, just to get that out of the way. Definitely biased in that category, but I do think Marckiemoo is probably going to take this event based on how things have been going. With that all out of the way, now we understand what exactly we're watching. For those of you that are just tuning in, I guess I did just go live as well. Wess was up a stock there, but Godly kind of fighting back pretty quick. Fate is a character that can do that pretty efficiently just based off her stats. And man, I'm getting a little bit of a headache watching this. I don't know if it's just me. It's a little bit of a struggle, but Godly talking about being a struggle. Wess is struggling to land. Godly has lapped him in damage here, and all of a sudden, it's an even game. I feel like Tezca is a pretty hard character to play at high level because, I mean, his gauntlets are probably the best gauntlets, like, ever. They're insane. Maybe not ever, but because we're talking about, you know, there's old Wushang. There's actually there's a lot of gauntlet characters in the past that have been insane. Old Cross, for example. But in the modern day, I feel like his SIGs are, you know, if there's any kit I would want, it's Tezca's. The boots, on the other hand, really don't do a lot of individual damage, even though he has high strength, which can make it very hard when you're playing these high, intense, neutral games like most players at this top level do. I feel like very few, you could say, are hyper-aggressive punish-style players, and most of them are really all about that movement, all about baiting out options. And seems like that's been pretty much the story of this first game here. It's been individual hit after individual hit. Let me turn up the casters just a little bit. Can't really hear anything that's going on in game. I feel like if I'm Godly, you gotta be pretty happy with where you are right now, because I think he was 1 game away from not making it into top 4 had he not beaten Sandstorm, or not even taken Sandstorm to game 5, I should say. Actually, huge opportunity from Wess right now. Does not quite get it. It's really unfortunate we're missing some of the intense moments. Dropped frames left and right, but Wess is not dropping that combo. No way. He is so solid. Yeah, Wess, I mean, one of the best players in South America for years now. He's PR 3 right now, I believe, but yeah, I was saying it's a little bit difficult to see the minutia of what's going on when the frames are dropping. It's unfortunate. Running a tournament at a zoo is kind of crazy work. I think it's sick, but there are definitely going to be hiccups for sure. Oh my god, going into game 2 already. I was not even ready for that. I was answering the question if Sandstorm made it to the top 4. He did not. He was in this event. He did qualify. He didn't make it because, I mean, sometimes you just got to be nice to the newer generation. You gotta let them take the spotlight once in a while. He's already at the zoo. He met the other goats there. He thought, you know what? They're just chilling. They're relaxing. They have a good life. Oh my god. Talk about being a goat. Godly is definitely the goat of EU. The only 1v1 player in the modern era to win a LAN. I say in the modern era because technically speaking, the second ever LAN in BRAWLHALLA's history was Combo Breaker 2016, and Zaloxery, a British player, won that one. But if we're really counting our cards here, that was before anything was qualified as a LAN necessarily, or as a major tournament, I should say. It was a LAN, but BCX 2016, in their own history, in their own record books, BRAWLHALLA considers that like the first major. So in a way, Godly is the first EU LAN winner, but I do want to give my flowers to, of course, the old school players. That was a crazy start. Wess has got to make a big comeback here. I mean, an edge guard with boots is going to do it. Great movement from Godly, but Wess cleaning it up very, very well there. That was a fantastic first stock from Godly, and honestly, not a bad cleanup from Wess. He did take a lot of damage for it, but he needed to get that stock right then and there. If he wanted a chance at this game, I feel like Godly would just run away with it. He is definitely a player that has the potential to unleash that explosiveness that I was talking about and praising Marckiemoo for. But yeah, Godly's up there. Godly's up there as well. Wess, I think, is less known for that, but we can see, obviously, when you're at this level, you're able to do anything. You are able to do anything. Oh, that is a huge pickup, actually. Godly just got suctioned in right there. Yeah, that should be the cleanup as well. Wess with the boots right there. Made it look like it's not a low damage weapon. Hey, the number of hits, the number of neutral initiations he got to make that happen was pretty huge. I didn't get to take a look at what stance Godly was using. It says strength on the bottom of the screen. Not entirely sure if that's correct. We'll have to double check that as they load in, but... Oh, that could be it! Okay. I just like burped in my inside of my mouth there. I don't know what's going on. That's a death from Wess. It is actually a pretty bad death, I would say. He went for it all. The safer play would definitely just be to get back to the map, but Godly took advantage of that, and this should have been Godly's game, but it has now turned into Wess's game to lose, which is very impressive. Godly, we all know though, Godly is one of the most clutch players, in the game's history. We'll see if he's able to win this one out. One of the most famous moments, I think, that I can recall is Godly's clutch factor against Luna at BCX 2022 when both of them were expected to win. But looks like Wess is expected to win this set. I think defying everyone's presumptions of what has been going on so far. Wess, if we're taking a look at the bracket, let's see who he's beaten. Oh my god, I hate this website. Help! Okay. Wess 3-0'd Use the BCX champ, lost 3-0 to Marckiemoo, but that's everyone, so it is what it is. He also lost to Godly 3-1 earlier in the day, so this is the most number of games he's beaten Godly in a set. Squeezed out a 3-2 win against Sandstorm, and then also a 3-2 against Purchi. I caught the very, very tail end of that one. So Wess has been playing a number of games today. Round robin typically as a format is very exhausting, even more so if you're going to game 5s. So the fact that he has locked in this much towards the end of the day, I mean, you can only imagine. How exhausting is it to play ranked Brawlhalla for like 4 hours straight? It's like completely exhausting. Now imagine you're doing tournament sets instead. Granted, there's time in between, but in a way, oh, great cleanup from Godly. Just interrupting the recovery in between the recovery and the weapon toss. That was really good timing. But yeah, the tournaments, the time in between sometimes is actually even more exhausting than when you're playing. When you're playing, there's a freedom to it. But when you're not, it is agonizing at times. Oh, big ground pound from Wess. He went for a read. You gotta respect it. But Godly, once again, a massive first stock on this game here. Game number 3. This is do or die for him. If he doesn't do this, he's down into loser's bracket against a player that he beat earlier today. Here's the thing. A set in round robin matters way less than a set in bracket. Because round robin, you lose a set, you're still potentially in it, on winner's side even, if you can win the rest of your matches. But you lose one set in bracket, you're down to losers, you lose one more, that's it, you're going home. So, all of these players obviously are world class. They know the stakes, they know what it takes. I mean, maybe a fully charged side sig there is not what it takes, but Godly is trying to cut off options there from the looks of it. Maybe catch Wess unexpectedly, because nobody really tends to do that very much at top level. Ooh, he's fighting back. Godly needs to find a big Sair or a Sig or something sometime soon. Yeah, he's looking for it. You can tell he's looking for it, going left and right, bouncing back and forth. These dash jumps, which are already jittery, even in a lagless scenario. Yeah, I don't know. The dropped frames are definitely unfortunate. I don't think it's just me either. I mean, I can try refreshing here, but yeah, I'm at the full source quality. It is what it is. All right, let's see. Let's see what Godly does on this last stock. Does he this last stock of Wess, excuse me. Does he change up his game plan? Does he still try to cut off options, read those diagonal in dodges? That has been really killing Wess this set, this diagonal dodge to just try and get back into the action immediately. A bit of impatience from Godly, uncharacteristic I'd say, and Wess took advantage of it. Again, players of this caliber, you give them an inch, they don't just take a mile. They take a mile and then some. We saw Godly take the first stock early in the last game, then got Wess into the orange before Wess finally came back. Kind of similar story here. Let's see. Godly gave Wess some room to breathe. Is he gonna push it? The orb is really good at denying space. You're gonna see there's a lot of orb players in this tournament, in this top 4 even, in big part because Sword got nerfed so heavily. Oh my god, wall slipping and still lives. He went for a big read there, maybe a dodge in read. I'm not entirely sure what he was looking for. Godly just recovering high, which was super dangerous because if Wess read that with a jump Sarah, that was it. That was the set. Alright, yeah, Godly really patrolling this side of the stage. Wess has been doing an amazing job about not getting hit. Godly has got to find his hits. There's a big there. That should be it. That should be it. Yeah, that's very clutch. That's huge. That's huge. The sword and great sword nerfs really shook up the meta here. That's what we were talking about in the middle of the game. Where it's like, it's not just you have to change what legends you play. It changes what legends you might play against, which can open up some picks, close off some other picks. It really shifts things around, which is exciting. I was expecting to see more blasters, to be honest with you. But with the players in the lineup today, that's probably not the case. Balloon Boy, for example, would have been the representative, and I think he would have done pretty well based on the characters that I'm seeing today, but that's another story for another day, it appears. Godly has awoken. He's got some fire now. Oh yeah, throwing out these down sigs, trying to catch Wess coming up to stage quickly. Ooh, I was going to say, looking probably for a GC, maybe a side light and end light there based on how he was jumping around to cut off Wess' movement. I feel like this ledge play has been pretty phenomenal from both players so far, just guarding it and then also evading it. It's pretty hard to get back on stage against Orb. I think Wess has been doing a good job, but then at the same time, so many Orb players do the same thing that if you're Wess, it's like, oh, you're used to it. So Godly, or excuse me, if you're Godly, Wess is probably used to it, so you have to mix it up as well. I think that's been really impressive from these two. Which is pretty sweet. Big damage out already. That could be the KO. Ooh, I think the weapon toss there was probably a bit antsy from Wess. The gauntlets are pretty easy to clean up in that type of situation, but he gets it anyway. Man, I'm kind of stumbling over my words here. Excuse me. But can you blame me? I did just stop a 6.4 hour recording. That's not the right... Oh! What the hell? Maybe Wess like clicked spacebar right before he got out of stun. That's probably what happened there. And he's like, oh wait, I didn't jump. What happened? Because he expected to jump. I don't know. I mean, huge comeback needed. That's an opportunity. Oh my god. That's the stock. Holy, that's like 4 reads in a row from Wess. That's pretty beast mode. He's like... It's like he plays better right after he gets destroyed. What's going on here? If you're not familiar with Wess, if you mostly watch North American players, he is like a 2v2 savant. He's incredibly good in 2s at just locking down space. And you see him less in 1s at the very, very top of these brackets, these international brackets. But in South America, I mean, he's PR number 3. So he's definitely a 1s player as well. It's just I think you may be less familiar with his prowess if you've only watched these like LAN tournaments. Oh, really getting down to the wire here. You can see they're getting a bit nervous with how they're throwing out attacks. Godly. 1 Sair with Orb. Here's the thing with Orb is you're able to set the tempo so well. Just landing that 1 side light Sair, not only does it take a while, but the distance that you're sending your opponent at, the angle that you're sending an opponent at, it's like a full reset. It's a very good mental reset as well. Ooh, fadeaway Sair from Wess. Perfect dodge from Godly right there. Last stock, last hit scenario. Ooh, that weapon toss was a little risky. I think Wess knows it. Godly goes for it all there. Okay, he's the first one with a weapon. End light. That might set up the KO. He keeps tossing these weapons off stage when I think he can push the advantage. But you know what? He's there and I'm not. He's there and I'm not. Oh, and his hands in his head. He knew he kind of threw that one away. It was just nervousness. Wanting that weapon toss to hit. Panicked. Went for the end sig. Maybe he was trying to do like a jump into fast fall recovery and misinputted. Either way, I don't think it would have been the smartest decision there. Wess getting a little nervous. Game 5. Okay, same map too. Big fan of this map. I'm like in pain. I am in pain. I gotta actually breathe and stretch between these matches. I was like so hunched over. All right, Godly. Big start once again. His starts in these games have been phenomenal. If you're Wess, like you've had to make a comeback almost every game. If you're godly, it's like, okay, just don't let him do that. Keep doing what you're doing, and it's working. And it's working. Look at Wess. Oh, he is frustrated. Okay, this is a big moment. When you're in these competitions like this, there's moments where you may get emotional. Some players are just stoic. They seem unfazed by anything. They always have their game plan, but that's not most people. And in those moments, a couple things can happen. Either you get really emotional and you start getting the reads like crazy, the momentum is all on your side, and you have maybe the highest peaks that you could ever potentially have. That is one possibility. The other possibility is full tilt. You start going for reads, you start going for everything, it's not working out, and the other person just runs away with the game. And that is the scenario that it looks like we're in right now. Wess, I think, probably has to slow down a little bit, compose himself, get back into the flow that he was in towards the end of that last game, because if not, Godly is just going to run away with it. Look at his spacing. I mean, that was just... he just fully baited out that sidelight, and Wess bit. Oh, almost got that down sig too. Yeah, Godly is in full control of this game, showing why he's the GOAT of EU. GC wake up side sig. Look at Wess shaking his head. Okay, this one's probably over. This one is probably over unless Wess finds some kind of miracle. After that last game, I mean, the frustration was obvious. It was his game to lose for sure after such a massive comeback. Here's the thing though, you can't really think like that, because the only reason why he was in a position to begin with is because he played immaculate. He was behind that whole game pretty much up until that point. And then it took a massive comeback to get there. So, that's not something to be too mad about, but of course it's so easy to say that sitting here at home in my chair gunching over like I'm a goblin. Yeah, I don't mean to say that I know any better. Obviously, in the heat of the moment, it's very different. These are players that would 3-stock me 0 damage probably. Wess gonna go for some kind of offstage play there, looks like. He's probably gonna go for either a downlight or N-Sig read. Went for the downlight one. Godly jumped above it. The N-Sig read might have actually worked out there, but he probably thought it wouldn't, given that it worked earlier in the set. Really guarding this ledge, but taking a ton of damage for it. Dodges into the down sig. His movement that game was just... I mean, Godly had it. Godly had it on lock. That was a great set. Sort of a crumble in game 5, but what I was talking about, Godly's ability to just clutch up and then turn up the heat, exactly what happened. That was a good set. Very good set. Okay, second set of the stream. Very exciting one. We got the back-to-back defending BCX World Champion Yus against the best player of the day, Marckiemoo, the only undefeated player. He beat Yus not an hour ago in this exact matchup, the most aggressive player in the game, and they're resetting the maps. Alright, game 1 for real this time. We were trying to see what Marckiemoo was got in his earbuds in between this. Marckiemoo has looked like the best player in the world today. He's my pick to win this entire thing. But if we're talking best in the world, Yus definitely, I mean, the argument is either him or Marckiemoo probably. This is the defending world champion after all. He did get nerfed pretty hard. The player that got nerfed maybe more than any other pro player in these most recent patches. He's just not attacking right now, which is sort of what I wanted to get into when this started. This match is like two diametrically opposed players. You have Yus, who's all about the spacing, getting his individual hits, his guaranteed KOs. And you have Marckiemoo, who is just dancing around the map, going crazy, going for the... I don't even know, like the most psychotic reads where he ends up dying somehow and then still wins. So, I don't know. He's also the host of perhaps the most famous comeback in recent Brawlhalla history. Down 0-2, 3 stocks to 1, gets taunted, then wins the set with a reverse 3-stock into 3-0. So that's the type of player we're talking about. Definitely one with a lot of stamina. He can play this fast for a long time. The question is, can he keep it up for the rest of the day? We know Yus definitely can. This is world champion material. Marckiemoo, I believe, got 3rd place at BCX in a nail-biter set. Barely lost to Kaina, who went up to grand finals with his win against Marckiemoo. But Kaina's not here today. Yus is on a different character, and Marckiemoo has looked better than ever. Oh, Apple BH is telling me that the YouTube stream looks more stable. We're gonna go for that. Thank you for the insight there, because this stream has been real jittery. Let's see if that is indeed the case. It does look more stable. Let's see. Definitely a little bit behind in terms of the time, but let's see if this looks any better. I mean, the quality leaves a little bit to be desired, but I'll take quality if there's less frame skipping. Yeah, Twitch has had a lot of issues. I think the Brawlhalla channel was also accidentally running ads in the middle of sets. I honestly, I can't even blame them, because Twitch is so weird the way that they do stuff like that. Like, sometimes you could be just streaming normally, and then they change your settings. It is what it is. All right. 1 stock each for both of these players, 2 minutes down into the game. Quick string from Use. These are both higher strength characters, so when they get their hits, it's going to go pretty far. I think for Marckiemoo, it's definitely going to go further, given Fate's base lower defense. We can see Use is on the defense stance, so up to 5 there, and Marckiemoo on the strength. So it basically cancels out everything there. Mordex right now, yeah, Mordex has representation from ever since he's been released, basically. First with Dobrain, shout out Dobrain, one of the GOATs, one of the OG GOATs, I should say, of EU, especially, with a crazy tournament win streak. Then Sandstorm, of course, and now the torch has been passed. Marckiemoo finding his reads. I think something that's really impressive, I mean, you can name a number of things with both of these players, of course, but I think what really impresses me with Marckiemoo is his confidence. He just goes for these reads sometimes, and they might not even necessarily be a high percentage. Of course, there's options that cover a ton of different movement, a ton of different dodges, a ton of different jumps at the same time. Sometimes, though, he just goes for the craziest thing because he just knows it's going to hit. And I think that's really respectable, because even if it doesn't hit, he'll still do it. It's like he's still in it. Also, I think we have yet to see the Mirage today. I could be wrong, but he's just been mopping everyone up. In the previous tournament, the Max Mode Winter Royale, there has been there was an insane set of circumstances, I don't even know how to describe it, that Marckiemoo just unlocked, where it's like, okay, if you're down 0-2 and you got destroyed the previous 2 games, lock in Mirage and then you destroy them. I don't know what it was, but that happened like 3 sets in a row, where he just went to game 5, game 5, game 5, pulled out Mirage after Mordex didn't do anything, and then won. So we'll see. This is the best that Use has done against Marckiemoo thus far. Marckiemoo did beat him 3-0 earlier today in the round robin section, but now we're in top 4. Things matter a lot more in Use. If you've talked to anybody in South America when they describe Use, they call him a player that clutches up when it matters most. He plays his best in the big moments. So maybe round robin, less important, as opposed to the top 4 bracket. We're seeing it right now. He is kind of slowing down the game to his pace, spacing out really well. That's not to say he's passive. I actually don't think that's the case. If you look at how he plays. Oh, that was amazing. That was so good. Yeah, Use is that's crazy. That's crazy. That looked like Marckiemoo's game to lose, and Use sort of just clutched up at the very end. All right, game number 2 here. Apple, stop. I hate you. All right, game number 2. Use was doing pretty impressive stuff there. This stream is lagging too. All right, I'm just going to Twitch. At least it's ahead in terms of the in terms of the timer here. Oh my God, why does it look like this? And how does Use already dead? Okay, well, Marckiemoo apparently in 40 seconds took the first stock. Oh, that's a read. I mean, that's just damage right there. Look at Use's health bar. He's in the orange. Marckiemoo barely in the yellow. I don't know what happened, because unfortunately, Twitch gods did not want me to see anything. Neither did YouTube gods, to be fair. Google and Amazon ruling our lives. It looks like Marckiemoo is kind of ruling over this tournament so far, because I think that might be, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna go through the numbers. The second game he lost all day. Let's see. I mean, you see why though. Like, you see why. Okay, 3-0 over Sandstorm, 3-0 over Wess. What else is there? 3-0 over Purechi, 3-1 over Godly, and 3-0 over Use. So yes, that is correct. Marckiemoo has only lost 1 game today before this set. Use took the second one. Looks like he's not gonna take the third right here though, because Marckiemoo is working on a 3 stock. Oh, that's it. Marckiemoo does not drop these. I mean, he might though. He might though, because he might get a little fancy. Might get a little fancy. I don't know. The ground pound did seem like a little bit of a just. I'll just throw it out. Maybe a little stop before he gets to the wall here, but I don't think he's okay. Sorry, I don't know why I talk. Use takes the 3-1. He IQ diffs Marckiemoo. I don't know if IQ is going to be the difference here. Based on what I just saw, Marckiemoo looked like he was playing on pure instinct there, and Use was lost. Use was completely lost. Keep in mind, Use is like in my top 2 favorite players. I'm not even being a hater. Marckiemoo was just on fire. I don't know. This does feel like, oh my God, what is he? He's just playing. He's just in his head. He's just in his head. Like, you see what I'm saying? Holy. What is going on? This is winner. This is the world champion that we're talking about. And I feel like Marckiemoo is playing in a way where it's like you can't really catch him, and then he's throwing out attacks where you don't necessarily expect it or before you can react to it. And then I don't even know. Like, I feel like Yu's scythe is definitely the weakest of his of the 4 weapons we're seeing in this game, right? Maybe even weaker than Marckiemoo's unarmed. I don't know. And especially in the scythe ditto, Marckiemoo is probably gonna win that like 9 out of 10 times. So the orb makes a lot of sense. You gotta feel for Yu's. You know what I mean? Like, you win back-to-back world championships and then they gut your character. Like, sword got nerfed really bad. And yeah, and then greatsword, of course, everyone knows about greatsword, but that's not to take away from what Marckiemoo is doing right now. Hopefully that doesn't get across. I'm sort of just painting the context, the historical picture that we're living in right now. Because Marckiemoo right now, I think, is way, way better than he was at BCX. Which was just, I don't even know, 6 months ago, 7 months ago. I guess that is a decent amount of time, but you don't expect this level of ascension this quick, I don't think. He is certainly one of the fastest improving players that we've ever seen. And you can kind of tell why. I mean, the game has slowed down to a crawl in this second stock, but even so, he's got all the momentum on his side. It's going to take Yu's pulling out, I would say, like a completely different style than we've seen so far. And I mean, he's taken more risks. If we look at what he's doing right here, his movement, his neutral has always been his strength. I think the reads and the combos are not necessarily the best, or at least compared to other pros. Obviously, compared to average players, it's like top tier, you know, top 0.0001%. But when you compare like Marckiemoo reads versus Yu's reads, right, I feel like you'd probably give that to Marckiemoo. But with that said, even it up. Okay, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Oh my god. Alright, let's see how Marckiemoo locks down this last stock here. Does he get KO'd instantly? Does Yu slow it down once again? He's finding these hits. Yu does not go for a dodge after the sidelight. Probably smart there with how Marckiemoo's been playing, but we can see he's going for these movement reads and really not getting punished for it. Look at this. I would say it's probably a lack of confidence on the scythe from Yu's in punishing Marckiemoo's own scythe moves, because there's many opportunities where he could have gotten a hit and he doesn't go for it. And that's sort of maybe his own playstyle coming to hurt him. If it's not guaranteed, Yu's does not like to take the risk most of the time. And he would be way more comfortable maybe on a different weapon, but Fate is probably the best pick for him right now. Based on the current meta, that is just a last stock cleanup from Marckiemoo. Let's be real, unnerfed Jaehyun, Yu's wins. Well, here's the thing. They're like 1-1 with unnerfed Jaehyun at LAN. Marckiemoo won the Autumn Royale, and then Yu's won at BCX. So that could be a very even matchup. I think both of them are probably better now than they were before. We'll see. Marckiemoo has been the only player to really test Yu's, at least in recent memory. I mean, let's be real. Sword and Greatsword needed to be nerfed. Like, absolutely needed to be nerfed. I don't know if they need to be nerfed that hard, but that's another story for another day. Game number 3? Game number 4. Game number 4 here, right? I can do math. Oh yeah, big time. All right, swapping up the maps. I feel like Yu's is going to make use of these platforms and try to use them to mix up his movement a lot. But look at Marckiemoo go. GC sidelight there. I feel like it's a pretty safe option. He had enough jumps to make it back. If he lands it, it pushes the edge guard further. If he doesn't, the movement of the sidelight can move him further out so he doesn't get punished. I mean, landing these hits where Yu's really is not. The number of neutral engagements, maybe that's a stat that they track. I'm not 100% certain on that. But it just seems like Marckiemoo gets a lot more per hit than Yu's is getting. And that is really important, especially when you're on a character that has lower defense than your opponent and you have about the same strength. Like, those individual hits matter a lot because you're not going to win the 1-for-1 war. Got to get like 1.5, maybe even 2-for-1. Yeah, that Sair was a little bit antsy maybe. Marckiemoo has this game in his hands. Now, Yu's has gotten a lot of damage, but it just doesn't feel like he's in control. Maybe one big edge guard will change that. Stuffing out the options with a nair potentially, but doesn't find it. Marckiemoo knows, goes for the down air off stage. That should be the stock. Oh yeah, he's styling. This is top 4. He's styling. All right. I mean, that's the type of play that you love to see from North America's last hope, the savior of NA. Right when Sandstorm left the game, there was a void, okay? And in that void, who arose? The Mooster. Oh my god, look, that end light was beautiful. Did you see that? Holy. I mean, he is putting on a clinic right now. Yuz looks completely lost. He's got to find some kind of answer. Whether it's legend, whether it's playstyle. In their games so far today, Marckiemoo has won 5 and Yuz has won 1. And that one game was like last hit. So it is not looking good for the BCX champ right now. He's gotta find something. They say pressure makes diamonds, but if Marckiemoo's the one putting on the pressure, maybe not. Alright, game has slowed. Game has slowed. He's not finding these sidelights. Yuz has been doing a good job of punishing it. For all intents and purposes, it's actually almost evened up now. The slower gameplay is certainly in Yuz's favor, especially when he's able to lock down movement with the orb. We can see a lot of diagonal, hoping for Marckiemoo going diagonal, hoping to get some kind of hit. Okay, this is what we want to see. We want to see a game 5. We want to see a close set between these two titans. I mean, you can even tell just in the pace of one game how they're adapting and how they're changing up the style on the fly, which is very, very cool to see. Yeah, using those platforms like I mentioned at the start here. Resetting his jumps, trying to get some kind of initiation. Marckiemoo has already changed up to what he's going for. Not looking for those sidelights all willy-nilly anymore. Those diagonal movements into Yuz's orb. You were really seeing those end lights. Yeah, Yuz is throwing them out early and Marckiemoo is walking into them. And it seems like, oh, like why would he do that? But it's because he already decided to move in and aggress right at that time and Yuz threw it out preemptively. Ooh! That could have been big. Yuz was just barely off with his spacing there with that dash. I would say that's probably Marckiemoo's play there rather than Yuz's mistake. Just spacing outside the range and it got him the KO. That is just a tiny moment that these top players are able to take advantage of. That like in an average Brawlhalla game, that's like whatever, right? It's like one sidelight miss. That one sidelight miss cost him the stock and potentially an edge guard situation. Everything that I was saying at the start of this game, I mean, it looked like it was cooked. But Yuz has taken... I mean, just individual hit after individual hit has won in that game. That's crazy. Damn. Game 5. Here we go. I said in between matches here, looking like Sinner Alcaraz, but I actually don't think that's true if you're a tennis fan. Marckiemoo is definitely Alcaraz, though. Definitely. I don't know who Sinner would be in Brawlhalla terms. So another question for another day. I feel like Yuz might be too old school to be classified as that. Either way... Well, I guess Sinner is older than Alcaraz. Sorry, game number 5 here. Complete change in style from these two players. Actually, I would say Yuz is sort of the one that directed it, and Marckiemoo has been forced to adapt. Game 5 is always fun to watch because this is when everything goes out the window. In the game 5, the last stock situations, we saw it from Wess earlier today. I mean, 2 sets in a row going to game 5. That is what you love to see in Brawlhalla. I mean, anything can happen. A player can fall apart. A player can awaken. The adaptations can happen even faster. Big read from Marckiemoo does not get it. That could have been the KO right there. They've been doing a good job of trading hits back and forth. Nobody's really been in control of the match. If anyone, it's been Yuz, but by a tiny margin here. Look at Yuz's movement. Oh my god, it's so clean. If you're ever wondering, like, what can I improve on in Brawlhalla, I would say, honestly, the best player to watch is Yuz. If you look at how he moves... The risks he takes, his fundamentals are just so unbelievably good. But if there's one player that's going to break fundamentals, it's going to be Marckiemoo. We saw how Yuz just panicked earlier in the set when Marckiemoo got started. And this might be the lead he needs. If he can push this even further, this could be the set. Yuz has got to stop the train right now. Look at how he moves, just unafraid inside the range, outside the range. Oh yeah. They are gaming now. They are gaming now. This is just a cat and mouse. Who will find the first hit? And we saw Yuz use his dodge there. That's why Marckiemoo took advantage. A rare miss. Goes for the down air. Maybe he tried to jump and then canceled a little bit too early. All his momentum was gone. Either way, that didn't seem like the option to go for. But he saw something that I didn't. I am terrible edgeguarding with Scythe. So maybe you shouldn't take my word as law here. Either way, that could have been the stock. Even though it wasn't, Yuz in the orange. Oh, and look at how he's just leaping around now, looking for that side air. He knew that was all it took, but couldn't find it for so long. Ended up getting his dodge caught in neutral, and Marckiemoo pushed it. He is in control right now. Yuz has got to find individual hit after individual hit, which takes read after read in neutral. Look at how much stage he's giving him, then just goes back to the center, knowing that Marckiemoo wants to push inward. Oh, Hughes is reading his movement like crazy now. Marckiemoo has to find the individual hit that leads into something big because it looks like he's not winning neutral enough. This is pretty much even. Marckiemoo gets a big sidelight here. He can convert it into a KO, but otherwise, it's all up to the edge guards. Hughes goes for ground pound. Yeah, you almost never see Hughes edge guarding there. Honestly, in general, that might be a game 5 nerve type of situation, but look at him go. Oh my god, this could not be more even at this point. Yeah, goes for an uncharacteristic, early sidelight on the sword. That the analogous situation would be sword downlight. I don't know if he does that there in most situations, but against a player like Marckiemoo, he feels like he needs to go for it. Needs to go for that early movement read. Marckiemoo is a player that goes in. He likes to hold forward. So if you get your timing right, you can stuff that approach, which is what Hughes has been doing in this set so far in the games he's won. Look at that. Look at how much space he's giving him. Reads his backward movement. Most players there will just stay in the corner. Hughes moves forward. Look at how many hits he's gotten uncontested, just keeping Marckiemoo recovering constantly. Looking for those recoveries. Hughes knows it. He hovers right at that range, goes for the side air. Offstage play from Hughes, very risky. Marckiemoo lets him back. Oh my god, this is so unbelievably close from the left side, or from the right side to the left side. Hughes going for the Sair. He knew it was going to hit. Probably didn't know it was going to KO there. Marckiemoo, he did not find like a single good hit in the last minute of this match. All he needed was one big one. He's looking for these sidelights, these endlights, these recoveries. Those are the 3 moves that will really net him this knockout right now. There's the recovery. Red uses movement inward. Hughes knew, okay, he's probably going to endlight by the ledge. Let me go high. Marckiemoo adapted on the fly. It's like rock, paper, scissors. I know you're going to go for scissors, so I'm going for rock. All right, now this is a last stock game 5 situation. Look at the clock. It's down to 3 minutes. Big damage from Marckiemoo. Doesn't go for anything more. Doesn't overextend. Just reads, uses move downward, gets 1 extra hit from it. This is a battle of who can get the punish. Will Marckiemoo get 4 hits? Will Hughes get 4? And 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, I guess. But Hughes really has won neutral so many more times than Marckiemoo by reading the movement. It's just the punish game has been a huge difference, but Hughes' punish game awakens in the final moments. Oh, he's 1 read away. Marckiemoo knows it. He's really holding on to these gauntlets. Oh, charged Ensig from Hughes. Maybe it wasn't charged. Maybe that's just the animation. I'm a stupid moron idiot. Marckiemoo looking for that chase dodge nair. Maybe get an end light off of it. Hughes dodge there. Goes for the side sig. The Sair drops. The Sair drops. Oh, Marckiemoo is so close to being knocked out. Hughes goes for the orb. Yep, much safer, much safer. He down sig. Okay, Marckiemoo didn't punish it. Sidelight goes for the sidelight read. He's gone for that so many times this match. Hughes with the spot dodge, barely escaping. Doesn't get the punish from it though. Read the dodge in. Oh my god, what a pickup from Marckiemoo. That was so unbelievably clutch. Holy. All right, let's see this. Let's see this. He goes on the top platform, goes for a dash weapon toss maybe. Yeah. Oh my god, that's so clutch. Okay, part of what makes that so hard is sometimes the gauntlet recovery, ever since the hitbox change, does not connect where you want it to when you're close to your opponent. So it was just like the perfect range for it. And if he missed, Hughes just wake up recoveries and kills him. Okay, sorry. Oh, okay, it started. Next set here, this is winners finals. The winner goes into grand finals. Marckiemoo against Godly. We just saw Marckiemoo play. I'll set my predictions for the Twitch chat. Sorry about that. I've been a bit slow. Okay, I was doing some Bandle. Kind of clutched up though. Beatles, hello, goodbye, and 2 guesses. You gotta be kidding me. That one. All right. Prediction has began for the Twitch chat. The YouTube viewers will not be able to participate, but yes, Hughes is still in and Wess are still in. The top 4 is locked. This is now winners finals. The winner goes on to grand finals. The loser goes on to losers finals. If those names don't make sense to you, think about it like this. This is guaranteed top 3. If you win, you're guaranteed top 2. That's basically what it is. So the winner will fight the eventual whoever makes it up all the way up from losers bracket, and the loser will either fight Wess or Hughes. Godly with an early first stock. I honestly didn't really see what can't speak. I didn't see what happened there. Marckiemoo hot off a crazy game 5 set with Hughes. Godly has had some time to breathe, but honestly, if you're Marckiemoo, you might be happy that you're playing up against another Fate. I mean, it could go both ways. It could be like Use is such a unique Fate that it's like kind of a shock when you play against Godly, or it could be like, okay, at least I know what moves he has, what moves he might go for. But yeah, Godly off to a commanding start here. This is best case scenario if you are a fan of the European players, as Godly has not performed amazingly historically against South America. And Marckiemoo kind of cleaned up Use earlier in that set. Cleaned up is kind of pushing it. But yeah, if now is the chance, if there's any chance, excuse me, for EU to take this, it might be now. Godly against Marckiemoo, definitely a much stronger Scythe, I would say. Godly's is compared to Use, and right now it is Mop and Marckiemoo up. He's got to change his style up completely from when he was playing against the BCX champion. We're talking about, I believe, what is it, Rotterdam champion in Godly now? So we'll see. We shall see. Marckiemoo has definitely slowed down, I think, a little bit Godly's momentum. It's funny I say slowed down. The way that he slows down Godly's momentum is by speeding up himself. That's just sort of the Marckiemoo style. And he has brought it back down to a one-stock game. I mentioned in that previous Use set that he is one of the most clutch players that we've seen. He had that crazy set against BRAWLHALLA. It was on this very map. So perhaps some shades of that might come to fruition. It was a reverse 3-stock there. I mean, we've reached the situation where this is almost even. Godly, of course, only needs one big hit. There it is, the one big hit. I was even going to say a side sig will knock him out a lot earlier. That move has crazy punch. It's like a shotgun. But yeah, a few more hits from Marckiemoo, that would have been fully even. Either way, great game 1 from Godly. Maybe, I didn't see. Game 2, same map here. This is a very popular map among the pros now. It's the most even, you could say, for sure. I think we've seen Brawlhaven a lot in the past, but Brawlhaven no longer in the rotation. It's a lot smaller. I forget what this one is called. World's End. Small World's End. Because it's the most flat. It's the most neutral for most characters. Certainly a bigger map, though, I would say, compared to the average quote-unquote small maps in Brawlhalla history. I could be wrong about that. The exact dimensions. Ooh, big read from Godly. I think he caught a dodge there probably, which is why he went for that. That is guaranteed if you're fast enough on Fate. Let's see. Let's see. Godly has been very good at keeping people on the ledge. Wess in the previous set, and the same for Marckiemoo. This has really been a point of pain for him in the U set too, is recovering back to stage. When he has the momentum, Marckiemoo goes off. But when he doesn't, when he's trying to find his footing, that's really where these other players are taking full advantage. And Godly, even though it looked like, okay, maybe Marckiemoo just tired, maybe he's not playing too well, whatever, in game 1, he's still pushing the lead in game number 2, and that's a really good sign if you are a Godly fan. If you are betting in my chat, you know what I'm saying. Marckiemoo has got to awaken here, and I can't lie, I would love to see a third consecutive game 5 in this set, so I do want to see him awaken, but I also love when a player is just on fire, and it looks like that's what's happening with Godly right now. 2 stocks unanswered from Godly. He has the potential to go up 2-0. If he does, no question in my mind that we're going to see the Mirage out from Marckiemoo. I mean, I guess I could be wrong about that one too, but I even mentioned earlier the crazy streak he had at the last LAN tournament with Mirage. Granted, I don't know if it was back-to-back-to-back on players of Godly's caliber necessarily, although to be fair, that still was the Royale. It still was the collection of the top performing players that season. We're in a new season now though. Marckiemoo is the champ of NA, Godly the champ of EU. This has been a storied matchup. That should be the stock. Ooh, Godly goes for an early ground pound there. Gives Marckiemoo a second chance at life. I think Godly touched there somehow. Okay, maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't. Marckiemoo found a way to turn around that edge guard. I actually can't believe it. He's still in it. He is still in this game. It looked over, especially after that second stock recovery from the orb. But Godly's Scythe has kind of been beating Marckiemoo out in this matchup. It's just been some clutch moments for Marckiemoo to find a way back into the game. But yeah, we can see his movement is just getting red off stage in particular. Does not fall for the side sig again. Godly knows if it hits, it's gonna KO. That move is crazy, like I mentioned. But Marckiemoo showing adaptation right there. Just a bit more patience. Also being more, I would say, accurate with his movement. Accuracy, though, more in the Godly camp. This is a fast set here. Okay, my prediction comes true. You can't say I don't pay attention, okay? Here it is. The Mirage coming out from Marckiemoo. Is it too little too late, though? This is like his secret weapon when things are rough, but I mean, the way that Godly is playing, he is not letting Marckiemoo even touch the ground. What is going on? His like first hit so far. Godly going for a read there with the Ensig. Honestly, a fantastic read. If it hits, it gets the KO. Barely took any damage for it. Godly one Sayer, that's it. Oh my god, Godly is on fire. He's playing like a man awakened. Especially after that set with Wess where he like barely squeezed by. You know what though? This happens with Godly. I don't know what tournament it was. Maybe it was BCX. He lost really early and then went on like a crazy run after some close games. And like, it's almost as if the moment that he won when he felt like he shouldn't, that's when he's like, okay, now it's time to lock in. Now it's time to try. Yeah, he's just reading Marckiemoo's movement. Marckiemoo's getting desperate. He's just oh my god, he's just holding in. He's literally just holding in and falling into everything Godly's doing. Now, make no mistake, Marckiemoo's approaches aren't bad. It's just Godly reading him like crazy. Oh my god, it's over. It's over. Marckiemoo has got to change something up because that is 2 stocks gone in less than 2 minutes. Less than a minute and a half. In fact, yep, dash in breakdance. You know he's hunting for the knockout. Here's the thing with Marckiemoo, he does stuff like that and sometimes it works. So you can't even blame him. He gets the knockout here. That's how it starts. But Marckiemoo is looking desperate. He has not found an answer at all to this fate. Perhaps some fatigue, but no. I think it's just Godly going crazy. Reading him left and right. Look at reading him up and down too. I mean, Marckiemoo, he's playing Mirage, 5 defense on that defense stat against a strength stance fate. It's not going to take much for him to be knocked out. He's trying to find his hit. He's trying to find his footing. But if he's not getting these reads to get the knockout early, Godly's going to get his 2 or 3 hits in neutral to bring him into KO percent, and that's all it's going to take. Dropping the KO combo there is brutal. This should be the game. Oh my god, just barely lands on the stage, which saves him, but Godly knows it's over. Marckiemoo knows it's over. It's just 1 side air, 1 recovery, 1 Ensig, and Godly 3-0s Marckiemoo. That was perhaps the most surprising set of the day, especially given that Marckiemoo beat him earlier today. That was nuts. All right. We are now in our losers bracket, a top 4. The loser of this is out. They go home at 4th. The winner plays Marckiemoo in a bit of a redemption as both of these players lost to him earlier. This is a South America team kill. And we now have a guaranteed number 1, number 2, and number 3 as EU, NA, South America. Number 1 and number 2 can be, actually all of those can be swapped around a little bit. EU is at least guaranteed top 2 though. It's pretty cool though. If I don't full screen, it doesn't lag? No way. Are you sure? Or is it just you can't notice the lag? Let's see here. I feel like it's still the same. I feel like it's just a little less noticeable. I don't know. Either way, this is an insane team kill. Talking about insane, that was a great early KO from Wess. I have a feeling like this is going to be a long set. We got a long set on our hands. We already saw both of these players so far, so we're familiar with their gameplay style. This is also a classic South America matchup that we see in tournament after tournament. Yuz and Wess have played I don't even know how many times. Maybe not as many as other 2 players, but I don't know. I don't know who those other 2 would be. Maybe Yuz and Kinda. Maybe Wess and Kinda. Because Kinda enters like everything. But either way, we got ourselves quite the matchup. Pretty much even at this point. Wess started off with a big explosive first stock. And Yuz, oh my god, that's disgusting. Already has evened it up. Let me start up these predictions as well. For those of you in the chat here. Godly winning the last one with 16% of the vote. This one I presume will probably be a lot more even of a prediction between Wess and Yuz. I mean, it's fairly even so far in the gameplay as well. I would love to see another map, potentially. This has been like 5 in a row of World's End. The background's cool, but I can only look at that for so long. Kind of grosses me out. Mr. Ouroboros over there. Wess finding a side air close to the ledge. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like after the emotional high of the last 2 matches, I'm going to need a little bit of time to recover, especially for the top 3. Not that top 4 isn't important, of course. But this one is, I think it's going to have to go into the nail biters, the last stock situations for me to be fully in it, especially with my voice. My voice is starting to go, as it always does with these watch parties here. Really a much slower paced game as well, which is good. That's good. What a Pexo. Alright, use climbing back, hit by hit by hit. And I think most people probably anticipate Use taking this and then getting the rematch against Marckiemoo. I would love to see Wess perform super well in ones here. I think that would be very exciting as someone that really enjoys Wess. But I can't be mad about either of these two players. They are world class, and we've seen why so far. That set with Use and Marckiemoo, certainly the set of the day, and then Godly just dismantling Marckiemoo immediately after. It makes you wonder, what can these two players do against players of that caliber? I'm not entirely sure the matchups with Godly into these two earlier today, but that is something that I suppose I can look at later. Now we are reaching the tail end of this Brawlhalla tournament bracket, and that means a couple things. Number one, I'm not the only one that's getting fatigued. These players, I mentioned it earlier, these are long, long days. And these players have been playing constantly, all day, round robin. They fought against every single one into the bracket. It's not even over yet. They still got round after round after round to compete in order to take this. This is a last stock game now. So does your fatigue come to hurt you? We saw it hurt Wess a little bit earlier today in that set against Godly. He kind of gave up in game 5. Does he have his momentum back? Oh my god, he's just slipped through that end stick. That's insane. That's actually so crazy. Has the edge guard now. Use probably has advantage right here, but Wess finds the hit. Oh, that was good. That was very clutch. That was very close to being Use's game, and he was just back in control as always. Wess got the hit before Use could run away with it. All right, game number 2. That was a nail biter. Wess got a big lead. Use climbed back. Use got a lead. Wess climbed back. Very back and forth between these two players. Anyway, I was talking a little bit about the fatigue here. It's very hard to describe exactly the feeling that these two players must be experiencing at this point. I don't think I've ever experienced it to this degree either, probably. But if you're sitting on the winner side like Godly, you are able to get a ton of rest. And that's what makes losers bracket runs so impressive. If someone is able to make it all the way through, it's not just that they've been on their tournament life over and over and over again. They've been on their tournament life. They've had to play maybe double the amount of sets compared to other players, because for every player that's in winners, someone has to go down to losers. And on top of that, they have to win multiple sets in a row. What a spot dodge from Use. Which is all to say that I think Godly is positioned to take this event over anyone else at this point. Not only because he has the most rest, not only because he's in winner's bracket, but because he's also shown to have maybe the most stamina of any Brawlhalla player in the game right now. We're not talking about Godly right now, though. We're talking about Use and Wess. Use, in terms of land scenarios, he's probably, I don't know, like unfamiliar comparatively to be in this position. That was a really bad way to phrase that. He is not really in loser's bracket that often, is what I'll say. Usually at LAN, he's the one sitting pretty in grand final, so maybe the pressure is starting to get to him a little bit. Wess going for GC side sig there, a bit of a reversal in Teska's kit. Chase dodge forward, neutral air to catch, Use jump, and a pretty safe follow-up option. If you don't hit it, you just carry your momentum forward. Use probably not going to be able to punish that one way or another as unarmed, but he's finding the orb. And at the end of that game, it was very contentious whether Use was going to take control of the map once again, as he tends to do, as he tends to be the best in the game at. So this is really up to Wess to find an opening and find enough openings to where he can take the stock with a neat little hit, a clean little read maybe, like he did that first one. Because if not, what is happening right now is going to happen for the rest of this set. Use in complete control. We did see a map change. I think if I had to guess, probably helps out Wess a little bit more. KOing off the top is going to be harder, of course, which both of his weapons do, but he's also going to survive longer, which gives him another chance to get the reads, which is what I'm talking about. He really needs these reads. Oh my god, excellent movement from Wess. Not saving Use, not giving him a chase dodge, and still making it back to the ledge. Use went for the nair read. If he did like a reverse nair, maybe reverse Sair, he would have hit Wess, but of course that's a mix-up as well. Oh, Wess is doing amazing. Yeah, he needs these small explosive bursts to find the advantage, because otherwise Yuz runs away with the damage just like that. I mean, you can even see it, the amount that Yuz has piled on, because that sidelight Sarah cleans it up just like that right after Wess gets the knockout, and Wess really had to fight to barely get Yuz into KO percent and get that edge guard. So this is kind of a, not in the same way as Marckiemoo and Yuz, but a battle of two very different players, I would say. And different game plans for what they have to execute. We can see Wess really preferring these boots, and I think that's probably a good idea. I mean, what do I know? But it seems like a good idea. Maybe Yuz on this Fate is less familiar in the matchup compared to the Jae-Yun. We saw Wess kind of get dismantled by Yuz in previous tournaments when Yuz was on Sword and Greatsword against the boots. Wess just could not keep up the damage. But Orb, while being similar to Sword, is certainly not the same thing. And I think if Wess can find these strange angles, these weird follow-ups, Yuz could be in big trouble. Like right there, if he caught the dodge, that could have been the stock. That could have been the game. Wess, he's finding some hits, outspacing Yuz. He has a lot of burst momentum with that dash sidelight. Yep, going for the recovery. Yuz faded out. Very, very smart. Wess showed a moment, a tiny brief moment of hesitation, which is probably why he didn't land that there, but he's winning out in neutral so far. Barely doesn't get that recovery. Certainly would have KO'd against Yuz. He just needs a few more. I mean, we're talking about individual neutral hits and how that's Yuz's strength, but actually in this final stock, it's been all Wess. That sidelight Sarah is how Yuz gets started. Wess makes it back to the ledge, back to the level. That's huge. If he didn't, Yuz could have kept in corner for so long. Okay, he's in KO percent. Both of them are. Yuz probably needs a few more, though, given what he's going for, which is individual sidelights, individual Sarahs, individual recoveries. Wess, if he can find a big downlight, that could get the knockout with recovery. If he can find a Sarah, knock him off stage, that could be it too. Yuz opting for the scythe. Goes high. Wess is up 2-0. All right, game number 3. Spider was pointing out in chat that Yuz has been struggling to hit these orb sidelights. I would tend to agree. I mean, right as he hit it, that's maybe bad timing for me, but compare the accuracy of his sword downlights to these orb sidelights, and it's kind of shocking. Now, you would think that these moves are not that dissimilar, but perhaps the freedom that sword gives him, maybe with the down airs, maybe with the neutral airs, the recoveries, that's not the same on orb, makes him feel just ever so slightly more uncomfortable. Neutralite as well is a big one to cover space. With that said, though, Yuz has taken the lead. Excuse me for these burps. I've been talking for a while. I need to get some of the gas out. Apologies. I had all you can eat Olive Garden, and I looked pregnant. I looked like I had my stomach wasn't full. It was like in a weird position. Anyway, Wess against Yuz. Wess up 2-0. This is a very unfamiliar position to see Yuz in. LAN down 0-2. Oh, huge. And sig. That's just a great read. That is just a great read. Wess has really shown that he is mental. Like, after that crumble in Game 5 against Godly, a lot of players would be out. Like, it's just, they're done for the day. Especially because they had a chance to go into the top 3, excuse me, on the winner's side. Not even top 5. They were already in top 5. But no, Wess did not let it get to him, apparently. And he's just on fire right now. Still alive. Reading that Yuz would go for some kind of risky option, punishing the sidelight right there. A lot of it is also the orb user moves when they use orb sidelight, and perhaps that puts Yuz out of position compared to the sword sidelight, which barely moves you forward at all. Wess had a potential KO position there, but even though he didn't get it, he's still way ahead in damage. That's the KO. If you're Wess right now, you have got to play your game. You cannot let Yuz carry. I don't even know what to say, like carry the momentum, but it's hard to say that when it's Yuz, right? Because all of a sudden, like, you think he's not hitting you that much, but you can't hit him, and then you're in the red. I don't even know what the term would be for that. Oh, he is putting a stop to it, though. Very unfortunate for Wess fans that didn't KO, but Yuz holding on, and maybe that's what he needed. Oh, Wess has got to find a KO now. It's going to be a lot harder. Oh, no, just sneaks in the downlight? I actually can't believe he went for that. Boots downlight is quite punishable. To go for that in that position, also the end light, rather than the Sair, he went for the active input version. I mean, that was just, that was balls from Wess. Oh, and he is reading him left and right now. Oh my god. Wess doing what Marckiemoo couldn't, playing too fast for Yuz to handle. Yuz out at 4th. Amazing placement. He played very well today, but very shocking. They started! Nobody told me. Nobody told me. Okay. This is losers finals top 3. Stock isn't gone. Stock isn't gone. No. I was just trying to figure out what song Marckiemoo was listening to. You see, because they showed his Spotify earlier and it was hard to see. And I was trying to get into the mind of Mencia. Okay, it's just sometimes he's the GOAT. Did we need to watch? I don't know if we need to watch. We know the result. Wrap it up. Wrap it up, gamers. Okay. Marckiemoo against Wess. Winner moves on to grand finals to fight Godly. Loser is out at 3rd place. Marckiemoo did play against Wess earlier today, and let me tell ya, it did not go in Wess's favor. Let's pull up the result right here. It was a 3-0. That was Let's Groove by Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's crazy because... Okay, never mind. I can't even say anything. No, I just feel like... I don't want to get the band wrong. Earth, Wind, and Fire, did they make Fantasy? Because that's like one of my favorite songs. They also made September. Oh, they did. Okay. Wait, I'm fine then. Alright, sorry. We got a little distracted in the intermission there, playing some online games, figuring out what song it was. Wess has got to find some answers for what Marckiemoo is doing. He's got to figure out, I don't know, what kind of rhythm he can even find in this game. That's a term that I like to use in BRAWLHALLA a lot to describe when one player is attacking at certain tempo and the other person is just falling for it. Seems like Wess is completely in Marckiemoo's rhythm right now, and I don't know if he can awaken in time. It seems like Marckiemoo is on another level right now. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, Wess on the Orion. We have seen this pick before. He picked Orion. Oh, we're going way back into the archives here. Not just in this scenario, but in the last Royale, I remember him in picking Orion was Spring Royale 2023, I believe. He swapped off Tesca to go Orion against Use, who was kind of mopping him up with Vector. Similar situation here. Oh, what a read, man. That was so good. It wasn't a normal sidelight reverse sidelight read. It was sidelight. He tracked his movement upward, then went for the reverse. Yeah, that's pretty big. That's pretty beast mode. Orion, a fantastic character that we really don't see that much at top. He doesn't have jumps. Okay, he needed that nair. At top level player, Stingray, of course, is the most notable example, but I think just something about the weapon combo is not the most popular, which is odd because his SIGs are great. His weapon, or stats, excuse me, are also fantastic. Marckiemoo showing though, like, you know, Mordex is a little more popular, probably for a reason. He is kind of destroying Wess, just reading his movement right now. And I feel like what we're seeing is almost the exact opposite of what happened to Marckiemoo against Godly. Like, Wess wins against Use. You gotta play very hyper specifically in order to beat Use. And then when the next player comes and they're just being super aggressive or reading your movement left and right or whatever it is they're doing, you're just not ready for it. I feel like it's almost the exact opposite of what happened to Moo. The Moose. We gotta call him the Moose. Adding new nicknames left and right here. I'm just trying to cover my bases because I messed up my speech. Happens a lot though. It is what it is. That's why I'm over here and not in the official casting desk at the San Diego Zoo. Not the San Diego Zoo. The Atlanta Zoo. I saw San Diego in chat. I got distracted. Wess. No answers whatsoever. I mean, he took a stock. That's not bad, but it just doesn't feel like he knows what to do. And it feels like Marckiemoo has the game in his clutches. And it's just a matter of, will he let it slip, or is he just going to tap it in? Because he is in complete control. Now, make no mistake, tapping it in against a player like Wess, most people can't do that. But we're talking about Marckiemoo here. We're talking about, up until losing to Godly, the only undefeated player in the entire tournament. So... Ooh, that's a wall slip in Wess. We've actually seen Wess do so well when those 3 exclamation points come up. He's never wall slipped into death, at least in this tournament so far that we've seen. Ooh, great wake-up recovery from Wess. Showing signs of life, but it is too late. Okay, Wess said that was not it. Marckiemoo is staying on his Mordex as long as it works. The Mirage didn't net him the reverse 3-0 like the Marckiemoo fans were hoping. But the Mordex has been solid all day regardless. Wess back on the Tesca. Now we have some stats coming in my earpiece from Binbags in chat saying if Marckiemoo wins this game, It will be the first time since San Diego DreamHack in 2023 where no South American player is in grand finals. That is an insane stat. I mean, it just shows how dominant they have been over the past couple years. Marckiemoo might do it though. Based on how it's been looking, Wess has got to change something up. Maybe just play slower so Marckiemoo gets fatigued. Maybe bait him off stage, hit him into the wall, send him straight down. This is Wess's first big lead of the set. I mean, it might get stolen away from him real quick though. Based on how Marckiemoo is moving, that was just pinpoint accurate spacing. Did you see how he avoided that Sayer? Oh, apparently the stat is wrong. We're hearing it's Valencia, not San Diego. Either way, still crazy. Still absolutely insane. Marckiemoo looking for an offstage read. Wess doesn't have a dodge. That's going to be one extra hit. He got his dodge back just now. One mix-up left. Wess lives. Marckiemoo, if he got that read, that would have been the stock, but he got two in a row before that. Oh, Marckiemoo is... He is in control right now. Yep. Wess, nothing. Went for that GC downlight. Big risk. The dash-in downlight, you know, the high-risk option, paid off against Use towards the twilight of that set, but against Marckiemoo, might be the twilight of his tournament. Let's see if Marckiemoo takes advantage of any kind of big risk play that Wess might go for now, because it feels like he might have to. Some kind of read. Marckiemoo didn't dodge after the sidelight. Wess went for that read. Didn't get much off of it though. That's a cut recovery. Oh, Markiemoo's getting fancy. He's starting to play with his food, it seems like. Wess hanging on by a thread. He goes for a ground pound. Marckiemoo does not fall for it. His movement too accurate. Ensig, Wess barely avoids it. That covers a whole bunch of dodges. Once again, GC downlight going for the high-risk play. Marckiemoo doesn't get the read. That should be the stock, yeah. Oh, maybe not. I can't believe he lived there. So Marckiemoo went for the Scythe Sarah because that has a high vertical hitbox. That's going to do it. Caught the dodge. Wess actually still in this game. Marckiemoo got a little bit, I don't know, careless. But then again, that's sort of how he got in this position in the first place, so you can't necessarily critique it. He is very hit or miss. Most of the time it's hit though. And yeah, going for a lot of these just instant knockout moves that will take the game right away. Tosses away the weapon, potentially going to get some stage advantage here. Yes, the gauntlets looking for potentially a sidelight read. There it was, but Wess did not give it to him. Wess is crawling back little by little. Gets the dodge in read. Wess is out at third. And South America's dreams are out with him. Oh my god, they're playing. All right, grand finals now. This is a rematch of winners finals. We got Marckiemoo on loser side, Godly on winner's side. Godly did 3-0 Marckiemoo about, I would say, an hour ago, half an hour ago. Marckiemoo now has to win 2 times against Godly, 2 sets in a row, whereas Godly only needs to win 1. Now here's the thing, Marckiemoo was just getting doffed. Every time he tried to approach, Godly had a read, and then when Godly was approaching, it worked every single time. Marckiemoo now, I mean, he's looking a little bit like a different player. He's going to have to change something significant, change something serious in order to best the opponent. That's the only one that could truly take him down yet today. See how he recovers here. This is he's played against a lot of Fates today. He's played against Use. He's played against Godly. He is currently 1-1 in sets against Godly today, but of course the most recent one is the one that hurts the most, given that, of course, it was also in bracket, whereas the previous set that went in his favor was during the round robin. Godly and Marckiemoo are 2 very acclaimed players, but Godly, in terms of trophy case, is far, far ahead. Marckiemoo is definitely the new kid on the block in relative terms. Within the past couple of years, he has ascended to be the best in North America. Godly, talking about ascension, his was a long time ago, and he stayed at the top of EU. This is a big chance for Godly to take his second LAN victory, and I believe Marckiemoo's second as well. An uncharacteristic miss there off stage, and Godly took full advantage of the situation. We'll see if he can push this lead even further if Marckiemoo gets impatient. Oh, Godly is playing very well right now. Oh yeah, getting the damage, getting the reads. Not getting knocked out there either. Finding that reverse snare, the weapon toss to interrupt Marckiemoo's approach. Look at him just reading Marckiemoo left and right. Marckiemoo cannot find any footing against the aggression of Godly, commanding game 1. He only needs 2 more. He only needs 2 more. No character swap out from Marckiemoo yet. The Mirage may only come out if he goes down 0-2. We'll see. Bin Bags also dropped some more information in my ear here. Godly has never, apparently never, lost when he is in winner's side of grand finals. He has won 100% of the tournaments that he has entered on winner's side. I don't know if we can get some corrections in chat if that ends up not being the case, but if it is, Marckiemoo has even more of a mountain to climb than he already did. And that mountain looks unsurmountable. Insurmountable? I think that's actually the correct word. Because I don't know. I don't even know what's happening. It's like all of a sudden Marckiemoo is in the red and then he dies to 1 Sair. He dies to 1 Sig. And Godly's just getting on damage faster than we can process. I mean, that's Sair, right? If it's use, you would think, okay, it's going to take like 3, 4, 5 more of those based on the pace of the game. But no, he is reading Marckiemoo so well. And Marckiemoo, I mean, he's on the back foot this whole time. Godly has got his number. It looked like at the start of that game 1 that something changed. But maybe Godly just needed to warm up. Maybe Marckiemoo was hot coming off the previous set. I mean, that's a big scythe read right there. A very poor dodge from Godly and a fantastic follow-up from Marckiemoo. If he pushes this into a stock, this could be the turnaround that he needs to stay in this tournament. Big end light right there. Don't give Godly any chance to bring the damage back. Big down there as well. And went for that same setup that worked against Use. All right. All right. I don't actually, was it Use or was it Godly? I can't even remember with all the fates, but yeah, this is a very intense back and forth between these two scythe savants here. Marckiemoo seems like he is changing things up, but that could be the stock. Godly finding something very... Ooh. That is a huge turnaround. Godly had the advantage in that edgeguard scenario. It was his to lose. Look at this. And the clash after whiffing that Sair, barely whiffing that Sair. Marckiemoo, I mean, most players there would just try to go back to the wall and live. Marckiemoo was like, no, I'm gonna go for 1 more hit. Why not? I'll go for 1 more hit. And that's why he won the game right there. Because Godly probably could have made it back. I wasn't keeping track of every single jump, but I feel like he probably could have made that back. If not for the clash. Only reason why it clashed? Because Marckiemoo decided to keep the aggression going. Oh, and he has the momentum on his side now. This is such a seesaw set. It was looking like in the beginning, it's all Marckiemoo. Then it was all Godly. Now, North America's hero. He has gone untouched so far. Finally, first hit from Godly in this game number 3. If he gets this stock in the next like 10 seconds, I mean, there it is. This is a huge, huge lead. I don't. There's not even much that you're able to parse or decipher because of the way that these two are playing. They're just adapting to each other so quickly, and it's a game of inches, really. Who gets the read? The way that these two are playing right now, they are throwing out preemptive attacks, reading movement. It's not necessarily like they're just playing passive. They're waiting for someone to make a mistake. No, they are trying to force out a certain option or block off certain movement options, and it's, I mean, a lot of it is just reads. It's just straight up reads. But both of them are getting it. This is the crazy thing. Both of them are getting it. so the damage is just constant. Look at what is happening. GC down like ground pound at the top of the map from Marckiemoo. This could be the stocky GC side sigs to delay the wall touch ever so slightly. Godly still cleans it up. 1 good hit away from death, though. He keeps going for that GC, or not that GC, that slide charge unarmed down sig there. It's netted him a lot in the past, but so far in this set, only punishes and only anti movement. I mean, look at that. Marckiemoo's already in the orange. This is what I was talking about. How in the world is he getting so damaged? It's just Godly being crazy. This is nuts. This is actually a crazy set. And I know my vocabulary is not really amazing in order to give it justice, but it's hard to even formulate thoughts because they're playing very quickly. It's not necessarily like they're pressing a lot of... Oh, that's the stock. That's the stock. That's the stock. Yeah, it's not like they're necessarily pressing a ton of buttons in a row. It's just what they're pressing is landing. The accuracy is fantastic. And that was a really clutch ground pound. Marckiemoo, I think, just barely used his jump and got caught by it. If he didn't, he'd have one more, have a chance of getting back to the wall. But now, oh, that's a read. Godly's in control again. This was all Marckiemoo up until that last ground pound. Gets his sidelight, does not get the read. Godly dodges down into the ground. Looking for those shotgun side sigs that netted him a lot in their previous set. Marckiemoo was ready for it this time. Enlight to cover his own landing. Ooh, gets the read. That's still not it. Marckiemoo, one more hit. Not even that recovery. Godly with the plot armor. What the hell? He's not even on defense stance. That's insane. It's because it was the very bottom of that stage there. I cannot believe Godly survived. He has another chance at life. He could win this game now. Oh my god, one sidelight Sarah, a down air, a down sig, any kind of read from Godly will take this match. Look at his movement. He is not getting hit. Talking about accuracy, it all faded away the moment they entered this last stock situation. Marckiemoo clutched it out. I mean, that was definitely Marckiemoo's game to win there. He found his hit, but Godly sure made it hard. That's the thing with these top level players. They make you have to work ever so slightly harder just to get the hit. You might still die. You might still get knocked out, but it'll take a couple more, and that couple more is a lot of pressure.
We're gonna stay on small worlds and Godly's dropping over to the Taros.
Okay. So this is interesting. Taros, if you ask 99% of players, is kind of at the top of the meta right now. Not what I expected to see in this moment of grand finals though, based on how these two were playing and based on the 3-0 earlier from Godly, but he brings out the Taros, which is what won him the tournament that gave him entry into this very bracket, if I'm not mistaken. And that's... oh, I thought that was the stock. Taros, if you don't know, was already near the top of the meta. And then Hammer got huge buffs to its damage. He deals like 26 damage every time he hits a Sair now. It's insane. It's crazy. Marckiemoo has got to adapt, and Godly, perhaps the right move here in grand finals. He knows he has a set to lose if this does not pan out. He gets the ground pound there. I do feel like Godly's Scythe was going crazy sicko mode in that last set, but perhaps he's just feeling like it wasn't it this time around. He's like, okay, I have a game that I can toss away. I still have a whole nother set. I'm stumbling over my words. I mean, the damage is definitely going in his favor. The number of hits he needs on Taros is comparatively lower, but getting those hits might be harder, especially if Marckiemoo starts running away with it. But a big dash on ground pound there. That should be the stock. No, the weapon toss from Marckiemoo. Godly played around it though. I can't believe that KO'd. That stomp there is crazy. Hello? Okay. That's some Taros privilege right there. That's why you select the character. That's why you lock him in. Godly is now like 3 hits away from getting Marckiemoo into KO percent. There's 1. Marckiemoo has got to get this stock. There's 2. There's 3. 1 Sair will do it now if he's off stage. Off the side of the stage there. Marckiemoo does not get the recovery. I was going to say it's not going to connect with a downlight like that. Finally, that down sig could have taken him out if it hit at a certain angle, specific angle, perhaps the angle directly upward. But Marckiemoo, I mean, it's a stomp Sair away, potentially, from being knocked out. Oh! He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Oh my god. That was like 3 reads in a row, and Godly was like, there's no way he's gonna go for it in this position. If you don't know, like, Godly had the chance to dodge, of course, but the read is like, okay, Marckiemoo's not gonna go for something like that in this situation, because why would he? Why would he go for it all? And it was like 3 consecutive reads in a row. And Marckiemoo just reset the bracket. It is now back to 0-0 even. Godly staying on the Taros. We got a reset. My ears just got jump scared by the sound of metal pipes falling down the subwoofer. Thank you, Too Vain. This is too close, is what this is. My heart. Oh my lord. Marckiemoo is so clutch. I mean, I actually just can't believe he went for that. Grand finals. He's down like a full stock. And he just knew. He just knew. All right, Godly's like, that was crazy. That was good, but I'm in control. I had control of that whole game. So as long as I don't get gimped, I should win. And that's not a bad way to approach things. I mean, what he was doing was working. He was in control. Marckiemoo was like a stomp Sair away. But I don't know. When you can explode like that, the player you're up against is probably worried. Oh my god, just goes for the down sig, wake up after getting hit, and gets away with it. This is definitely Galdi's game. He's still in control of it. He just has to not let it slip away based on how Marckiemoo is moving. He goes for a lot of these jump nair reads, and Galdi does have the ability to counter it with Axe, especially that Axe downlight can leap up very high, but if he's not there in time, Marckiemoo can punish that back. Yeah, these Axe downlights, it's what I'm talking about. Netting him a lot. That weapon toss was definitely a little bit of a distraction. Very smart from Galdi. Cover that space, lock it down. Marckiemoo's not ready for the side sig. It reaches in time. Same situation as last game, pretty much. Although Marckiemoo, I would say right now, is probably even a little bit better than last time. If you're Godly, you cannot let that happen again. Oh, Markiemoo's going for these reads. Godly's not falling for it. Landing these individual hits. That's all he needs. Look at how many. Look at the damage on this hammer. If Godly can pull out... or excuse me, if Marckiemoo can pull out a second miracle... I don't know. It's not looking likely. It's not happening. Godly's hammer just too good. Does he swap to Mirage now? I feel like the spear might not be bad. No, he's staying on the Mordex. I mean, based on how Godly was moving around against Markiemoo's spear earlier, perhaps that makes sense. And maybe it is only a down 0-2 type of deal. Marckiemoo has got to find something. Godly has not given him the dodges after these end lights, and that's a lot of how Marckiemoo gets damage early in these stocks, is the early reads. Yeah, right there. But Godly is mixing it up very well. His defense this set so far, I mean, it's only been one game in this reset, but it has been fantastic. They're trading out some damage. The good thing, if you're Marckiemoo, is that you also deal excuse me, you also deal a lot of damage on the Mordex, especially if you're locking in that strength stance, which he is not, apparently. He's on base, but don't need strength if you're getting the read. Ooh, that's first dog down. First dog down. Excuse me, I cannot speak in this grand finals, but I'm sure you can surmise why. Fantastic pickup from Godly there. One hit away. He got the stomp. Was not going to get the Sair from that position. That's a red dodge. Marckiemoo doesn't go for too much there, but yeah, tried to read the movement on the ground. Godly was ready for it. Couple of risky plays there from Marckiemoo. He got a read, but couldn't convert fully. Godly was able to touch the ground and reset his dodge. And now, I mean, it doesn't look like it, but the game was even when Godly was behind in damage. And now you can see why. All it takes is just a few hits from this Taros hammer. It is devastating. Godly's in the lead now. The number of times he needs to win neutral is far lower, but like I was saying earlier, perhaps it's harder than the weapons like Gauntlets, like Scythe. That is at least the balanced philosophy there. Oh, he is haunting. Yeah, that was genius play from Godly. He just basically, he just yo-yo dog walked Marckiemoo all the way to the side of the stage, waited for the Gauntlet sidelight, knowing that neutral sig is fast enough to cover it. Gauntlet sidelight, not the easiest move to punish, but Godly, of course, locked in. That was fantastic play, and he is one stock away from putting himself in championship contention for the first time today. Ooh, Marckiemoo, big read with that GC downlight, but couldn't convert much off of it. That could have been a stock if he was, but Godly, no. He's saying, you gotta work extra hard if you want to read my options. His defense, like I've been pointing out, has been phenomenal today, which is really... It's hurting Marckiemoo bad, because this aggression is how he gets most of his knockouts, how he gets most of his damage, his early damage. He can't even find the knockout there when Godly was struggling in the air. He got the sweat marks, the clash on the recovery that would have KO'd. Okay, fantastic read from Marckiemoo. Knew Godly was going to go down with the rapid fire Sair. GC, barely dodge, use the timing to still get the downlight. And, okay, now's when he gets his damage. Godly is not dodging in these early HP scenarios against the Scythe. He knows if he loses his dodge, it could be the end of him. So he's okay. He's like, okay, I'm going to take one extra damage. I'm going to take one extra hit. And if it doesn't kill me, then I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I can afford to throw away some damage if it means I'm going to live. But if Marckiemoo reads that, on the other hand, there's no way he just did that again. There is no way he just did that again. That is the problem. If you're not dodging because you're afraid, you can see Godly was not really dodging because he didn't want to give anything up. But the read, Marckiemoo last time he went for the chase dodge dare, reading either the fastball or the no jump. This time he's like, okay, last time this worked, he didn't jump. This time he's gonna jump. It's the 50-50. I just can't believe he got it twice. That was risky too. He used a chase dodge for it. 1-1 grand finals reset. This is an insane tournament so far. I mean, these two players are so evenly matched. It takes a miracle for Marckiemoo to get a game, it seems like. But he did it twice. He did it twice in two of the most important moments to save him in the set earlier, to take that one 3-1, and then to save himself from going down 0-2. But once again, Godly is in control for most of the match. It's just the big moments where Marckiemoo clutches. Oh my god, he just let it rip. Fantastic side sig from Godly right there. Marckiemoo dodged down. Maybe he saw it coming out in the last moments, tried to avoid it. Huge damage. Oh, that's a dodge read. Potentially another Sayer. Marckiemoo avoids it, but he's kind of flailing around against this hammer. Godly is too good. He's shutting down these options. When Marckiemoo misses a read, he's really good at punishing him back. And part of the reason why Marckiemoo is missing a read, to be clear, is because Godly's defense has been on point. Ooh, that side sig. Could have been another stock even. Stomp Sayer. Marckiemoo is a full stock behind right now, and potentially even more if Godly gets this downlight, which he does. I mean, that's just aura. Do you see? When people talk about stage control, just look at what Godly did right there. He did not hit him at all, and yet Marckiemoo was so afraid that he used all his options, dodged back onto the stage, and Godly got the KO from it. This is looking like a done game. Godly is in full control. Yep. He mixed it up that time. Previous times he went for the fall down. Okay, that's gonna take it. He went for the fall down Sayer. That time he jumped one extra time. Marckiemoo, what do you do if you're him in this situation? You gotta do what you did before twice. Okay, that time he's like, I'm not gonna go for an instant attack. Godly's probably gonna do something to counter it. She did. He went for the unarmed down air, which tends to be very good against Scythe in those situations at early HP, but that's just the most dominant game we've seen in this grand finals yet. Alright, game number 4. Tournament life for Marckiemoo. Godly is one game away from making history. The casters were saying right before this started, EU has yet to win a Royale. This would be the first ever. And Godly is on the precipice of doing it, of making history. Marckiemoo has got to put a stop to it if he wants a chance at gaining one more of his own. I think he's won one himself. The Autumn Royale of 2024 probably. But I don't know. Based on how things are looking, Godly is a man on fire. Even though he's behind right now, it doesn't really feel like it. Especially when he's countering the aggressive options from Marckiemoo right there, the read. And talking about aggression, Godly's own aggression, particularly on this hammer, has been everything. The axe, we've seen almost none of it. It's just all hammer. And that, I mean, Marckiemoo may be desperate to get the KO. He had Godly in the red for so long, and Godly just, he can't be killed. When he decides to not get hit, he doesn't get hit. And now, we've seen this before. We've seen this before. Godly in the red, but then brings Marckiemoo. How many times? Never mind. Nah, I should shut up. Nah, I should just shut up. I should just shut up. How many times is that gonna work this tournament? He's playing like it's experimental. You know what? Maybe if you're Marckiemoo, that's what you need. Maybe you need a little bit of a fancy schmancy KO with a weapon toss in order to get your mental back in it. Ooh, amazing spot dodge. Really didn't get much from it. He's not getting these sidelight reads against Godly. 3 in a row and nothing. Meanwhile, if Godly gets 3 hits in a row, the damage is going to be far, far different. Okay, that's pretty big though. 3 hits. Marckiemoo's neutral is heating up. He's finding angles with these sidelights that Hammer tends to struggle against. It's hard to get up there in time unless you're ready with an N-Sig or a Sayer, like Godly was previously. That should be the stock. Okay, Marckiemoo, he's shown a little bit of adaptation in this game so far. The spot dodge on the sidelight from Godly was how it started, but we'll see if he can keep it going. There we go, the early damage read. He knows Godly does not like to dodge the strings at early HP. That's why he went for a little bit of a 3-piece. Godly's axe showing itself. I mean, we saw the downlights earlier, but recently it's been all hammer. We'll see if Marckiemoo is ready for it this time. Oh, his spacing was immaculate there. It is down to the wire here. I feel like Godly can turn up at any moment, so even though Marckiemoo has a lead, it's a little bit contentious. He's on fire right now, though. Looking to push it to a Game 5 in Grand Finals. Godly Stomp Sayer. First Stomp Sayer in a while. Potentially a KO from it. It should be the KO from it. It is! I've seen this before. I've played these games before. I've seen this reality. Marckiemoo, he needs to find a read to get this knockout, but he has not been getting them this set so far. And Godly, if he pulls out some crazy neutral like we've been seeing, some crazy punishes, he could do it. Marckiemoo The first sidelight KO read in ages to stay in the set. We're on to the final game of Grand Finals, game number 9. Oh my god, 0 damage on the scythe from Marckiemoo. Literally 0. I need to breathe. I gotta pee so bad. Game 5. Godly back on the Fate. This could be huge. This could be huge. We know that Marckiemoo in his first games against Godly on the Fate really struggles. He has to adapt on the fly, and we saw Marckiemoo finally adapt to Godly's hammer in neutral, but can he adapt to his scythe back in time, or is Godly still in hammer mode? Can he get back into Fate in time? This is definitely a risky play. Will it pay off? Marckiemoo getting antsy. Can't touch the wall. He gets the recovery. He gets the exhausted recovery. Insane offstage play in the first 30 seconds of this game 5 of Grand Finals already. Marckiemoo's the first one with the knockout. Oh my god. Was this a mistake? Everyone's wondering, but you cannot think about that now. If you're Godly and if you're Marckiemoo, you are focused on one hit at a time, one stock at a time, one game at a time. You crawled your way back into this set. What are you going to do now? Well, you gotta push this lead, and if you're Godly, you gotta find your way back. The orb was doing incredible, amazing things with your spacing and your reads, but you gotta catch this Mordex. You gotta catch this dog. Oh my god. Marckiemoo. That GC sidelight read, if he hit that, it's the set. If he hit that, it's the tournament. He is on fire right now. Godly can't find an answer. He looks exhausted. Marckiemoo's playing too fast. He's actually playing too fast. Godly goes for the end light. He reads the dodge up. Oh my god, he's up 3-1 stocks. This is the guy that was down he was about to go down 0-2. He was literally about to go down 0-2, gets 4 scythe reads in a row, knocks him off stage twice in 1 set, twice in 2 sets, excuse me, against the same player 1 in a row. Okay. Godly, you are in control. You get the NSIG, you get the high read. I mean, we've seen Godly destroy Marckiemoo before. We've seen Marckiemoo get antsy, go for a bunch of hits in a row. His movement just gets completely stuffed out in red. We've seen this. The question is, have we seen it in game 5? Because he looks like a new player right now. Every single hit feels like it hurts so much. Fate cannot survive for much longer. She's on 4 defense right now. Mordex. How many tournaments can Mordex win? But I feel like this isn't even Mordex. It's a new character in Marckiemoo's hands. Go. Okay, that's the stock. Yeah, you can't be doing that. You cannot be doing that. You absolutely cannot be doing that in game 5 of Grand Finals. That shows some nervousness. I'm out of my chair. I am gunching over at my desk. Godly, he's still in it. We've seen this before. We've seen Marckiemoo SD stocks like this before. On-arm sidelight. 1 read is all it's going to take for Marckiemoo. Godly, he could have caught the dodge there. Godly knows it takes 1 hit at a time. Just 1 hit at a time. It's the use technique. Marckiemoo needs a read. He's looking for it. Those sidelights, look at Godly's movement, just barely evading. Gets the read with it. I literally jumped up in real life. I was like Mario. Calm, cool, collected. How does Marckiemoo do it? That was Godly's tournament. And for the first time in history, Godly, on winner's side of Grand Finals, falls to 2nd. Marckiemoo, the Spring Royale 2025 champion.